Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this video on my pre-thoughts, I would say, of John Wick Chapter 3. Being that we're moving forward now in the John Wick series, being that's, like I said, it's the third one, the third chapter. I am just curious to how this third one's going to work out, story-wise, that is. Because in the first one, we had an interesting revenge story of John. If you haven't seen any of the movie spoilers ahead of them, but, the first one's been out for a couple, like 3 years now, at least, maybe four. And the other one's been out for at least over a year and a half, I would say, maybe. It's been, I don't know when the second one came out. We got the third one coming up later this month. But yeah, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen them. Oh well. But yeah, in the first one, John, his wife dies and she leaves him a dog for him to have, so he has someone to love. Or, like you could say someone, someone to love, since she's no longer around. Time goes by a bit, and this guy who doesn't know who John Wick is, even though he should, because his dad does, kills his dog, beats him the fuck up, and takes his dog with some of his friends. That is, surprises him. So it's a revenge tale of getting revenge on the person who basically murdered the dog that his wife left behind for him. Like I said, the father of this person knew who it was because he was in business with John Wick for a bit. And if you don't know who John Wick is as a character, he grew up. Not sure too much of his younger childhood, but we know him mostly as being an assassin, especially known as the Boogeyman. Basically, he is when you send in for jobs that you don't think anyone else either can pull off or just doesn't find it, you know, worth their time. Too risky. They even themselves, the assassins find that's too risky for them. John Wick was the man you sent in, the one you hired. And it's this whole world that's elaborate about how assassins live within this world, and even the cops know about it. And there's like these hotel businesses that run off of some of these assassins via these coins, these big silver coins and stuff. It's just this whole fantastic world. If you haven't seen it, you should seriously. John Wick 1 and 2 is already out on like DVD and everything. Just go watch the first two. But, he got his revenge. He killed the kid that killed his dog and took his car. Killed the father because he got help from a friend who was basically hired to kill him. He got help from a friend who was hired. John Wick. I explain this as best as I can. My apologies. John Wick got help from a friend who was hired to assassinate him. So the father of the guy who killed John Wick's dog, wasn't happy about that, being that it ended up having his kid killed. So he kills the friend, and John Wick gets revenge for his friend and kills the main dude. Finds another dog in a pound area. He ended up being beaten and broken. And you see this dog for a little bit in the second John Wick, in which after it takes place like a little bit after the events of the first movie. He gets his car back from this one guy. It's just a beautiful opening scene. But yeah, he gets his vehicle back all broken and stuff. So he gets the person who does cars to fix it up for him. But yeah, there's this gentleman that comes by who helped him actually get out of the assassin world so he can be with the love of his life. And being that, he kind of came back in a bit, he's requesting, because he helped him via favor to get John Wick out of the assassin life, help him with his final job. He was tasked with doing an impossible job, and he got assistance with it, which they didn't know about. But yeah, the person who helped him so as he could ensure himself getting out of the life for his wife calls on his favor. I mean, there's like this whole also aspects of calling favors, like you cannot turn down the favor itself. You owe a debt, and this debt is being paid. And as the person said, he would have left John Wick alone if he stayed out of life, but being that he kind of came back into the life to get revenge for his dog, he's calling on the favor. So then, he does the favor, which was this gentleman wanted him, Mr. Wick, to kill the gentleman's sister. So John Wick has to go and kill this person's sister. In the end, she kind of slits her own wrist because she wants to go out on her terms. She knows she's dead because John Wick's got to own up to the favor. But yeah, she slits her wrist, and like you basically sees she's dead, but John Wick's like, I gotta do the favor, so he shoots her a little bit, maybe hopefully to clean her soul that way she could go to heaven. It's up to debate. Some say it's because it's both. Some say it's just for one or the other. But maybe it was a bit of both. So that it was seem like he did his job, and also he can clean her soul so she doesn't go to hell but goes to heaven, if such rules even exist. Who's to say? Suicide victims go to hell. We don't know. But moving on. Yes, he does his job, but now it's being that he killed his sister. John Wick killed the dude's sister. He's like, I can't let bygones be bygones. One, you know too much, and two, you killed my sister. I gotta let you die. So there was a plan for him to be killed after he did the job, Mr. Wick. So he's doing what he can to ensure that that doesn't happen. Being that also the person who wanted to make sure that John Wick dies, put a bounty on his head. So he also has some other assassins going after him. So John Wick tries to get to the gentleman and kill him, so that way the bounty is off his head. But in doing so, he broke a rule, and those hotels, what they're known as the Continental, and you cannot break certain Continental rules, like main one being you cannot conduct business, basically assassinations. You cannot kill anybody on Continental grounds. That is one of their big rules. And it was shown that one of the assassins who wanted to kill John Wick that was hired to in the first movie did break one of those rules because she was incapacitated and tied up and left with somebody else who kind of knew who Wick was. But she escaped and killed the guy on Continental grounds, so therefore she was terminated with 4 gunshots to the head. But yeah, he breaks the Continental rule of killing somebody on Continental grounds. Basically, it's what they consider doing business on Continental grounds, is killing anybody. So that will lead us into what is now going to be John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Which I am curious to wonder, like I said, how the story's going to go. Because, as I've stated, you kind of had some good story there with the first and the second movie. But the third one here is basically him just trying to live and kill everybody. Because he's literally got to kill everybody. Because he's got a bounty on his head that is unbreakable by the sounds of it. It's like my only theory is that he has to find a way to get this bounty off his head. A bounty that is unbreakable. A bounty that cannot be terminated without him being terminated. So yeah, I'm curious to how the story's gonna go with the third one. Cause like I said, the only theory I have is him trying to find a way to ensure that this contract of him to die is terminated without him dying. I'm curious to wonder how this is going to happen. So yes, what is the story going to be with John Wick Chapter 3? Because we've seen trailers and it looks interesting. All we've gotten is, for the most part, is the lead up to when the contract goes live. It's like you see that count of 5, 4, 3, down to 1, and it's like what we've seen all this action and stuff, but where is it leading to? Is my question. I love these movies. The action is amazing. The story is okay. It's just a fun. I don't know if it's a goofy story, but it's like it's an imaginative story because assassins function in a world the way in which they do in this world is just improbable. Because, like I said, the cops know that a lot of these cops know that these are assassins. They know, I'm just going to leave them the fuck alone. That way they can live and not be killed. Because somebody might be a friend of this assassin. I'm gonna take revenge on your ass. So there's that. Yeah, I am curious to how the story is going to play here in the third movie. Because, like I said, because I see it as like this contract is unbreakable because these are like the top tier businesses, like the Continental. It is the business of assassins, So how is it, gonna play out? Story wise, it's like the only way I can see it is John Wick dying or just disappearing somehow, because the only theory else is like he has to find a way to terminate this contract without dying himself. But how is that possible? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I cannot wait to see it and find out. Because again, this movie looks action packed, awesome. Just like the other two movies were. Granted, they had like some aspects of story of what they had to go for, especially building the world. They tried to integrate a lot of the world building aspects in these movies, as well as telling a good story with some good action. And they did that. They did that pretty well. So I'm just curious to how this one's going to play out. If there's going to be more world building in this kind of world of assassins, if there's going to be just mainly story and action without any world building, because we've already done all the world building that needs to be. I'm curious to how it's all going to form out come when the movie releases. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. I cannot wait. It looks amazing. I just I want to find out what that story is in the movie. I cannot wait to see what it is. If it's, he has to disappear, or unfortunately in the end he dies, or if it's somehow he terminates the contract without being terminated himself. We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. But I cannot wait. So I hope you're informed. I hope you possibly entertained, and I hope you have a rock sock'em day. A peace.